Hi, I'm Beth Porter, CEO of Riff Analytics, creators of the Riff platform, which uses conversation data collected during video chats to provide insights about how you show up in meetings. This video provides background on the dynamics of small group interactions and gives guidance for how to interpret the Riff metrics, which appear on screen immediately after a Riff chat. The Riff platform augments video chat meetings using real-time feedback. After each video chat, you'll see data about your speaking time, influences, interruptions, and affirmations. You'll also see a timeline of your speaking contributions to the discussion. The purpose of this feedback is to give you an objective view of what's happening during your conversation. In this video, we'll walk through the metrics and offer suggestions for interpreting them and acting upon what you see. Let's take a deeper dive into the metrics shown on the Riff dashboard. When meeting in small groups for brainstorming, problem solving, decision making, or negotiations, speaking time should be approximately equal for all participants. More equal speaking time across all participants is associated with more trust between parties, better information sharing, and higher creativity. In collaborative settings such as teams and cross-functional groups with shared responsibility for outcomes, group members should be aware of their speaking and listening to be sure they aren't being overly dominant or passive. In opposition settings, such as negotiations or debates, it is likewise important to pay attention to the amount of speaking time by each party. Your ability to thoughtfully contribute your own ideas to the conversation may be as, if not more, important to a successful outcome as your ability to listen to others. As you can see in these visualizations, on the left-hand side shows conversations with relatively equal speaking time, and on the right-hand side shows conversations with less equal speaking time. While it's not always true that you're striving for completely balanced conversations where there is an emphasis on sharing information, brainstorming, thinking creatively about solving problems, or making decisions, you're frequently looking for that balance in order to make sure that everybody's point of view is expressed and everybody has an opportunity to both speak and listen. Influence is another measure that we show on the Riff metrics dashboard. Influence occurs when someone responds quickly to what you've said, you've influenced them, or you respond quickly to someone else, they've influenced you. Frequent first responses indicate that a person is engaged by what the speaker said. With influences, you are typically trying to achieve balance in your communications with the other people in the conversation. In the chart shown, there is a good balance between this person and each other party in the call, as well as relatively equal speaking time among all other participants. In some conversations, however, all information flows through one person, and that can be seen in the influence chart as unequal bars across all participants. In other conversations, two parties may be heavily influenced by one another, but at the exclusion of others. This would be shown as one very large bar on the chart with equal amounts of influence between the two parties. Ideally, conversation can flow freely between parties, which would be shown as equal height bars with balance between speakers. The influence measure is composed of all the different speaking events that happen during a meeting. That can be interruptions, affirmations, or simply turn-taking where you respectfully wait for the next person to speak and then you interject. This combination metric is really interesting for uncovering who is influencing another person in the meeting and who may be having less influence over others in the meeting. Balance, like most metrics on the Riff metrics dashboard, is what you're looking for in all of the conversational markers that happen during a meeting. Interruptions occur when a person begins talking over the speaker and takes over the conversation. Frequent interruptions can mean different things in different contexts. When interruptions occur in a highly engaged group and stay on topic, they are likely to be perceived as positive. If they abruptly change the subject or occur in a slower paced discussion, they are likely to be perceived as rude or disrespectful. In this example, the chart on the far left shows that you and Mark only interrupted each other once in the whole conversation, whereas the chart on the right is showing a higher rate of interruption between you and Beth. When two people are interrupting each other a lot in a one-on-one conversation, that can show a high degree of engagement and interest in the conversation. If you take those same two people and put them into a multi-party conversation and they continue to have the same pattern of interruption, that can have a negative effect on the participation rate of everybody else in the meeting. You have to know your context to know whether interruption is positive or negative. Affirmations represent short, confirming feedback to the speaker. They typically reinforce what the speaker is saying without taking over the conversation and are generally perceived to be positive, but you should be examining your behavior over time. A lot of affirmations can sometimes have a dampening effect on the conversation, whereas few affirmations may indicate to the other party that you're not really listening that carefully. Affirmations are how people understand whether you're engaged in the conversation or not, and balance, as with all metrics on the Riff metrics dashboard, is what you're looking for. The Riff timeline allows you to see the meeting at a glance. You'll see the speaking times of all participants and the places where interruptions and affirmations happened in the video meeting. In the meeting shown, the three participants at the bottom are dominating the conversation. With one another, they are taking good turns and sharing equally. The team member in the center is managing to contribute with regularity, but what about the two at the top? This timeline shows quickly that this team was out of balance during the conversation.